together all the information, you will have a very good perspective about all the things. Okay, guys. One advice, or you can say one suggestion from my side, you can consider for people who are having difficulty in understanding English, beta, right? But what will happen when you join any corporate? Mostly, let's say you are having team which is in India, and maybe multinational company you're working in. Like for example, my team is in India, then San Jose, then some team in Japan also. So what will happen? If you start taking this session in English, maybe that will help you in getting comfortable with English. I'm not saying that you should have very good English, but at least that understanding process will improve. But that does not mean that I'll not speak in Hindi. Whenever you don't understand, you just ping in the chat. I'll explain the same thing in Hindi as well. Directly going to OOP concept. Can we start from very basics from non? Yes, Shweta. But these OOPs concept also we are going, right? This will not be something which will be only understandable by IT people. I have divided into small examples. So the session will not be theoretical. I'll tell you one concept and I'll explain how to implement it. And then we will have some assignment questions also with that. And this way, what will happen? People who are from any background will be able to relate to all the terms. So that when you start reading upon yourself, like by yourself, you start reading or referring to so many books or blogs, those things will make more sense, and you will be able to relate to them better. That will be my agenda. And I perfectly understand people who are from non-IT background. They might be thinking, why are we starting with OOP? We'll mix and match. In this itself, I'll introduce array. And in the arrays itself, I'll show you how to create object, and like so many combination things will be there. So trust me, you should not worry about this. And also from my little bit of experience till now, what I can share is people who are from non-IT background specifically. But I don't think that people who are from IT background will be having a better understanding of concepts. That it does not work like that. You don't have that, a thought process only that since I am from non-IT background, I'm not getting this concept, or that difference will be there. No, but the logic will remain same in whatever field you are working in. So go after the logic rather than thinking that, okay, this is maybe IT concept. No, everything is working logically, especially in DSA, right? If you understand the logic, coding or implementation is very, very easy. Sonu, beta, can you type, please? I know what you're going to say because that is the reason I'm telling you. But since you have requested, let me unmute you. Let me unmute Sonu. Okay, please tell us a book for DSA. But a DSA book, if you want, then maybe Coreman would be a good starter.
Hello,
but
ma'am.
Yes, Sonu, tell me.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, सोनू आपकी आवाज आ रही है, बेटा बताओ.
यस मैम, मैं ये कह रहा था कि बात इंग्लिश की नहीं हो रही, बात ये है कि बच्चों को जब समझ में आएगा ना तो किसी भी तरह से एक्सप्लेन कर सकता है, चाहे वो हिंदी में अगर समझ में आ गया तो इंग्लिश में अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन कर सकता है. बस एक्सप्लेन की बात होती है.
सुनो, बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हो बेटा. जो
तो अभी मैं ये कह रहा था कि आप थोड़ा सा ना मिक्स करके चलोगे तो दिक्कत नहीं आएगी, क्योंकि अगर जो समझ में अच्छे से आ जाएगा तो फिर एक्सप्लेन बच्चे अपने हिसाब से कर सकते हैं कैसे भी उसे.
हाँ ठीक है. जब सोनू आपको बेटा नहीं समझ में आया ना कुछ मैं जो बोल रही हूँ, या कुछ भी जैसे कोई कंसेप्ट बताया है, कुछ भी अगर वो समझ में नहीं आया तो आप मेरे को मैसेज चैट पे मैसेज डाल दो कि ये समझ नहीं आया, प्लीज कैन यू एक्सप्लेन हिंदी. आई टोटली अग्री विद दैट. ठीक है, विल दैट वर्क?
ओके.
हाँ अच्छा ठीक है.
थोड़ा
हाँ सॉरी, मैंने बीच में म्यूट कर दिया. सोनू मैं आपको अनम्यूट कर रही हूँ अभी.
इसमें मैं कह रहा था थोड़ा सा ना मिक्स करके चलो आप. 50% हिंदी और 50% इंग्लिश, ऐसा ना फ्लो बना रहता है उसमें. कुछ अंडरस्टैंडिंग अगर जो इंग्लिश में नहीं आती तो हिंदी में थोड़ा समझ तो आ जाता है.
हाँ बेटा, क्या होगा जैसे आपका मतलब मैं आपसे एक पूछूं क्वेश्चन. लाइक आपने जैसे न्यूटन ज्वाइन किया है बेटा, एंड गोल क्या है? बेटर प्लेसमेंट का गोल है.
यस मैम.
हाँ, तो अभी क्या होगा जैसे आप कोई भी सॉफ्टवेयर कंपनी ज्वाइन करोगे, एंड आई होप यू गो टू अ वेरी गुड प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनी. तो वहाँ पे क्या होगा, आपकी टीम्स में जो लोग होंगे जिनको हिंदी नहीं आती होगी, ठीक है, तब कैसे करोगे मैनेज?
मैम वो तो टोटली अंडरस्टैंड, बट मैं ये कह रहा था कि
अभी
जैसे
अगर
अगर
अच्छा
किसी भी
हाँ मैं समझ गई बेटा तुम्हारा कंसर्न क्या है, मैं समझ गई तुम वो मत सोचो कि मैं नहीं बोलूंगी हिंदी, बट मैं एक सिनेरियो डिस्कस करना चाहती हूँ मैं सबसे, मतलब तुम्हारा भी फीडबैक लेना चाहती हूँ मैं। व्हाट यू विल, मतलब तब क्या करोगे?
नहीं मैम वो तो बात ठीक है, आप कह रहे हो इंग्लिश वाला, बस ये है ना कि जब तक बच्चे को अगर टॉपिक सही से
हाँ
नहीं आएगा तो वो एक्सप्लेन
एग्जैक्टली,
कैसे
जैसे
कर
कोई
पाएगा।
कंसेप्ट जब आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा तब आप मेरे को चैट
हाँ
में लिख देना, मैं तुरंत हिंदी में समझा दूंगी, मेरे को आती है हिंदी से, मेरे को अच्छे से हिंदी आती है, आई एम फ्रॉम यूपी, सो तो टेंशन
ठीक
लेने
है,
की बात नहीं है कोई भी।
ठीक है,
ठीक है चलो।
ओके मैम।
ओके बढ़िया। ओके and yes, I people who are not understanding Hindi, but I understand that also कि people who don't know Hindi, how it will be useful for them. So let us start. अभी जैसे जैसे तुम लोगों को प्रॉब्लम आएगी मैसेज चैट पे लिख देना, मैं चैट हमेशा देखती रहती हूँ, और जब नहीं देखती तब भी मैं बता देती हूँ कि 10 मिनट बाद देखूंगी, 5 मिनट बाद देखूंगी, तो एवरीवन बी कंफर्टेबल। ये छोड़ दो कि ऐसे नहीं समझाओगे क्या करोगे, टेंशन मत लो, अभी बी विद मी, वी विल कवर एवरीथिंग स्लोली स्लोली, give it 3-4 weeks for yourself, let's start, let's start। ये सब टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, अभी सेशन में आए हो 2 घंटे पढ़ते हैं अच्छे से, फिर देखते हैं क्या होता है, ठीक है? और जो भी जैसे भी किसी को फीडबैक देना है, कुछ भी लग रहा है कि ये समझ नहीं आ रहा, बस तुरंत से चैट में लिख दो, तो तभी की तभी आंसर हो जाएगा, ठीक है? और प्लीज स्टार्ट फ्रॉम पीयूष। बेटा ये मैं बिल्कुल समझ रही हूँ कि बहुत बच्चे नए आए हैं यहाँ पे, और मेरी पूरी पूरी क्लैरिटी है कि यहाँ पे नॉन आईटी बिगनर्स बच्चों को समझाना है, तो ये मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि आई विल टेक यू गाइस फ्रॉम जीरो टू some good level. I'm not telling you I'll make you experts in Java, but I'll make you comfortable in using it, ठीक है? तो टेंशन नहीं लेनी है अभी। मैं देख रही हूँ कि बच्चे यहाँ पे बहुत एंशियस है, यू गाइज आर ऑल वेरी एंशियस, तो ये एंशियसनेस छोड़ दो थोड़ा, और लेट अस जस्ट हैव फेथ एंड वी, आई एम श्योर एवरीवन इज will be able to get good placements. I really wish so. Okay chalo, let's start with the objects. Abhi let us start with revision, then we will move on to the concepts of today's. Chalo. So let me take you to my playground area, and one program that we did in Java, that we will see again, and I'll revise everything, whatever concepts we had understood so far. Let me log in. Let me share my screen. Screen is unresponsive. 1 second. ठीक है, जब तक ये होता है, I'll do one thing. We'll write down quickly, not to waste time. Okay. So yesterday we saw that in Java, everything works through a class. What do we mean by that class? That is, for example, if you are writing some Java code, let's say you write one Java code. Here inside that, every main programming block, which will be structured. Structured means, yes, installing, Prashant, I will also tell. Chalo, let us start with installing then. Let us start with installing. Thank you for pointing out, Prashant. Let me quickly, 1 second, let me just open few things in my browser. How many people tried installing Java in their system, guys? Just tell me. Or how many have already installed Java? I'm sure, guys, if you have installed some game or something, then yes, I think it is very easy, beta, but I will show you for beginners. Beta, just go to Google and type Java install. And from Java install, go to this java.com. And this will take you the official site of Oracle. So what I have done, I have Googled this, and you will get one link for Java downloads for all operating system. Once you open this tab will be opened, and here you can choose for your operating system. Let's say you are working on a Windows or Mac or Linux, download that version. For example, right now I'm working on a Windows system. So let me download this one. This will get downloaded, and this file you will be getting. You can save this. Sometimes you can download the JDK version only. That is also okay. And better next, that automatic installation is there. So you don't have to actually do anything specific. But few things I will like to show you. Let me first tell you few concepts related to it. So let me start with installation. Installation is easy, but few things which you must know about. See guys, where you install Java, that will be your class path. This one variable, environment variable, very commonly it will be asked. And yes, Tarun, you're right. Anybody can watch any good YouTube tutorial, whichever has the most views, just go to see that. Don't see the non-technical guys Java interview. You can go and see Aditya Saini's. I think Aditya Saini's is also there. Then Tushar Roy's is also there. You can go and see that. They will explain the full process in view. But let me explain few things which might be missed in these blogs and videos. So, beta, whenever you install a Java, that path will be known as class path, because by default that will be where Java will look for executing or running your classes or the bytecodes. Then there is another thing called path. This variable, irrespective of what operating system you're using, for all the beginners in the class or non-IT background people, beta, systems, it is just like a setting in your system. In this path, you will have to add the location where Java is installed. Normally, you don't have to do it manually. You don't have to do it manually. When you click next on your downloaded JDK executable file, right? That will do automatically, because that will first create a Java folder in the location. Normally, it creates in C# programs. I will show you in my system. Once again, let me open these windows system. See, let me share my screen. See, beta, when I installed, what happened? See, can you see here, beta? In under Windows C drive, under this program files, in this, you see Java folder. See, and in this, since I had installed Java 8 version, so two things are there. JDK folder is there and JRE folder is there. I'll open this also. See, can you see? So many things are there, like bin folder, DB folder include JRE, lib, copyright, readme. Readme is something which will be included with all the software applications. It is simple text file. And like so many third parties, there's some automatic installations are there. You don't have to touch it. Like it will be automatically created. And if you go and see this, right, in library folder, so many files will be there. These all things become your packages which you will be importing. So let me go back a bit here. JRE. People are saying, now what is JRE? Beta, I will show you the structure. Same structure will be there. Inside that, library will be there. Now, why they are used? Like, why they are used? Like, what is the meaning of JDK? What is the meaning of JRE? So let me explain that also quickly. So now let me clear that. So JDK stands for Java Development Toolkit, or you can say Java Development Kit. JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. Yes, very good. Somebody has written also in the chat. And what is the other term? Tell me. JVM. Yes. JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. Right. Now, guys, you tell me what by seeing this, what do you understand? Any like thoughts come to your mind? Let's say, what do you understand by JVM? Like, what do you think it will be doing? Tell me guys, any guesses? Beta, just take a guess. No idea. Okay. So beta, in JVM, this stands for Java Virtual Machine. Remember, let's say you have written one. Let's start from very basic. Let's say, yes, exactly. Let's say you have written some code in Java main.java file and you have written something. Now, what happens when you compile this? Some main.class will be generated. This will be basically your bytecode. This will contain the bytecode. Now, when you run this, or you can say execute or you run, whatever you want to say. Now, where this will be happening? Where and like who will be responsible for executing this? So this executing will be happening by the help of JVM. So what happens? Let's say when you have installed everything, like all the library files are there, all the code is there, installed, everything is done. Now, when you write Java C main.java, this bytecode will be generated. This process is called compilation. Then what you will say, main.class, you will run, execute. This flow will be managed by something called Java Virtual Machine. So tell me guys, you have played the desktop games, right? Let's say any desktop games I'm talking about, not the online games. When you start that game, let's say Minesweeper itself, all of you must have played, right? Some game you must have played in your system. Then it sets up the environment, right? For example, one session you play, like solitaire you are playing. So one time that game starts, so where do you think that information is maintained? That is like they have a ecosystem there, right? Some program is running that game, right? You are playing it, you are taking action, but somewhere that game is running, right? Some program is seeing what keys you're pressing and they're taking action. So that is like a virtual machine for the game. It is like a program. So similarly, whenever you are running some Java code, JVM takes that role. What it does, it says, okay, here is a bytecode, or here you want to compile some Java code. So, okay, I will check whether the code is proper or not, and whether the syntax that is used is correct or not. And now they will declare the variables, they will check everything, and it will be responsible for entire thing. So this is like basically it is a program which will be also maintaining so many environmental things. Let's say you have to take input from keyboard, or sometimes you will have to show some things. If you study, when people who study advanced Java, we will be learning about applets. So that applets will give you some like screens also, like UI options will also be there. So all those things will be managed by JVM. Without JVM, you cannot execute the Java program. Okay, now this is the meaning of JVM. But remember I told you about some environmental things. Now, environmental things means, for example, you want to use scanner. Now that code is written, I showed you like where this entire thing is there. So that all things are maintained by JRE. JRE. So you can think about a diagram. Let me draw a diagram. If here is JVM, and here this entire thing will be maintained inside JRE. JVM is the place where the code will be running. JRE will be JVM plus the library functions or library classes, you can say. Actually, library files I will write here. This thing total will be called JRE, Java Runtime Environment, because when the Java virtual machine is running the program, if it requires any library file or any inbuilt code is required, JRE will pick and give to JVM. So tell me guys, JRE and JVM meaning is clear to everyone? Okay. Now comes something extra, that is JDK. Now what happened actually, how this actually initially using this JRE and JVM, you can definitely, video is stuck. Let me restop and again. See, is it okay now? Yes? Okay. Sometimes that webcam does auto zoom in, zoom out, it will do according to my speaking volume, and that will happen. Okay. Now guys, what yes, JRE plus one more please, once more please. Acha, okay. So JRE beta, what as we are doing Java virtual machine, this will be basically running this program, like this whole process it will be running. Okay, now beta इधर क्या कर रहा है JVM, run कर रहा है program को. जैसे अगर आपने एक मेन डॉट जावा फाइल बनाई, उसको लेके उसका बाइट कोड बना और फिर उसको आपने कहा इसको रन करते हैं, तो जावा वर्चुअल मशीन क्या कहेगा, ठीक है आई विल रन स्टेप बाय स्टेप, आई विल एग्जीक्यूट, हर कोड का पे जाएगा, एक एक फंक्शन को एग्जीक्यूट करेगा. दैट थिंग जेवीएम जावा वर्चुअल मशीन विल बी टेकिंग केयर. बट लेट्स से द प्रोग्राम यू आर रनिंग लेट रिक्वायर्स सम लाइब्रेरी फाइल्स, सो वो जेवीएम मेंटेन नहीं कर सकता, इट इज ऑलरेडी ओवरलोडेड. तो वो क्या करता है, JRE कहते हैं. बेसिकली JVM प्लस लाइब्रेरी फाइल्स इज कॉल्ड JRE, जावा रन टाइम एनवायरनमेंट. मतलब पूरा इकोसिस्टम सेट हो गया है कि यहाँ पे कोड एग्जीक्यूट हो रहे हैं, अगर आपको कुछ जरूरत है फाइल्स की तो वी विल गिव दिस थिंग टुगेदर इज कॉल्ड JRE. ओके, नाउ देयर इज वन मोर कंसेप्ट, JDK, जावा डेवलपमेंट टूल किट. नाउ एक्चुअली बेटा व्हाट हैपेंड एज जावा इवॉल्व्ड, राइट? तो जावा में बहुत सारे फीचर्स आने लगे, लाइक सो मेनी फीचर्स केम इनटू पिक्चर. फॉर एग्जांपल इट विल डू मेमोरी मैनेजमेंट, it will do garbage collection as part of memory management. Then it will help you manage input output devices also. Now all these things Java developers thought that why don't we develop a kit, एक kit solution बनाते हैं जिसके अंदर ये सारी फाइल्स होंगी. नहीं तो पहले क्या होता था कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आपको ये मेमोरी मैनेजमेंट करना है तो ये वाला वर्जन जावा डाउनलोड करो, अगर आपको ये वाला फीचर नेटवर्क वाला फीचर चाहिए तो ये वाला वर्जन डाउनलोड करो. तो इससे बेटर क्या है, उन लोगों ने एक टूल किट बना दी. इफ यू डाउनलोड अ सर्टेन वर्जन ऑफ JDK then all that whatever features it is supporting it will give you. And depending upon this concept only, a very important questions comes to people who are giving an interview. For example, they will be asking what is the difference between Java 8, what is the difference between Java 9. First they will ask you what is the latest version of Java that you have heard about, या फिर आप कौन सा जावा का वर्जन यूज कर रहे हो अभी. फिर दे विल आस्क यू अच्छा ठीक है तो अगर ये यूज कर रहे हो तो क्या डिफरेंस है या फिर क्या नया फीचर है. तो वो डिफरेंस कहाँ से आता है, दैट एवरी टाइम अ न्यू वर्जन इज लीड कुछ नया फंक्शन और फीचर दे विल ऐड. जैसे अगर आप मैं एक रिसेंट एग्जांपल देती हूँ. जैसे जावा 9 में क्या हुआ है, लैम्डा फंक्शंस केम इनटू, जैसे JS में होता है ना एरो फंक्शंस, वैसे जावा में भी आ गए हैं. तो हर बार जब ये टूल किट रिलीज होती है या फिर हर बार जब ये वर्जन रिलीज होता है तो देयर इज सम अपग्रेड. बट इफ यू इंस्टॉल JDK दैट विल बी लाइक कंटेनिंग एवरीथिंग, यू डोंट नीड टू वरी अबाउट एनीथिंग. इंस्टॉल कर लो और उसी के अंदर आपका सारा JRE भी होगा और JVM भी होगा. तो बेसिकली इफ यू सी एज अ वेन डायग्राम, राइट, इट विल बी लाइक यहाँ पे है आप, ये है आपका JVM. अगर इसमें लाइब्रेरी फाइल्स भी ऐड कर दो तो इन दोनों चीजों को टुगेदर हम बोलते हैं JRE, सॉरी यस. एंड देन अगर इसमें आप सब कुछ फीचर्स भी ऐड कर दो तो इसको बोलते हैं JDK. तो टेल मी गाइस, इज इट क्लियर? अभी इस बैच में से किसी को भी पूछेंगे कि JDK क्या है, JRE क्या है, JVM, दिस सिंपल वर्ड्स में आप एक्सप्लेन कर देना, दैट इज मोर देन इनफ. ओके, नाउ लेट्स गो टू, सो बेटा ये तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है. और whatever version of Java you download, let's say I would advise go for the stable version. जैसे अगर आप 13 यूज कर लो अभी या 8 या 9 यूज कर लो, एक बार गूगल कर लेना कि उसमें क्या क्या फीचर्स हैं. एक सिंपल सा डॉक्यूमेंट आ जाएगा, एक बार जस्ट गो थ्रू इट एंड जो भी डाउट्स आते हैं उसमें से पूछ लेना चैट में, मैं एक्सप्लेन कर दूंगी. बट उससे पहले हमें थोड़े से ऊप्स के कंसेप्ट समझने पड़ेंगे. Why we have to understand oops concept before that? Because if you don't understand oops concept, you will not be able to understand the features only. So let us go into step-by-step details about oops, or like how it is implemented in Java. After all, theory everyone will know, but how it is implemented, that is the main thing you should understand here. Okay. So first thing, when you hear about any object-oriented programming, 7 or 18 get stable. Okay. बेटा एक्चुअली यू कैन यूज जावा वर्जन 8, जेडीके में 8 बोलते हैं. अगर जेआरई इंस्टॉल करोगे तो 1.17 मतलब 1.7 और 18 बोलोगे तो मतलब 1.8 ऐसे होता है. 1.8 इज करंटली यूज्ड, जेडीके वर्जन 8 हो गया. ये अमित ये है मीनिंग इसका. तो ये नंबरिंग का तरीका है, वर्जन मैनेजमेंट जिसको कहते हैं. अगर आप डाउनलोड करोगे तो आई वुड एडवाइज 8 या 9 कोई भी यूज कर लो, दे आर इक्वली गुड. Most of the offices are using 8 right now. Personally, what companies I have worked in, I have seen 8 recently. Okay. Now, guys, what the most hyped topic till now? Oops. So now, guys, whenever you hear of the word oops, people who are even from non-IT background, beta, this is like we'll start from scratch. So don't even think कि ये concept IT का है या उसका है. कुछ ऐसा कोई दिमाग में thought process रखने का नहीं है. Okay, no, don't keep this thought process that you will not understand. Starting from very basic, just treat it as any other subject. Now, guys, coming back to the topic, oops. Now, when we think about object-oriented programming. Actually, initially, no, this was called paradigm, not programming. Why? Because before anything is actually released or implemented, only the approach is figured out, and that is called paradigm. Now, why this object-oriented thing became very popular? For understanding that pros and cons, first we should know what is an object. Then only we'll be able to understand like why it is useful or how it will be useful. So let us just understand in simple things like what does an object stand for, or how did the developers came about this concept of object, like how that first thought process came into picture. Now, guys, object is something which is actually present, which has weight, which has mass. If you just understand, think about that English meaning. Object, how do you define an object in physics? Anything that is visible, anything that is having weight, anything that occupies some space, that is called an object, right? Otherwise, they will be called subatomic particles. Visible नहीं है, weigh नहीं कर सकते, तो उनको subatomic बोलते हैं. Anything basically which is atomic, simple. ये तो है real life example. Now, anything which will have weight, that will have its properties also. कि इतना weight है, मतलब measure कर सकते हैं उसको. We can measure it physically, and it will have a specific behavior. Now, this was the actual physical meaning. Now, how did this computer science people use this term? First of all, like how did that happen? So actually, this term analogy was not there. What we people, like all computer science people, were trying to do, people who are basically working with microprocessors or system, they had a very simple problem. They were getting a lot of information, and they were tired of noting down in simple text files. They thought ki, okay, see, we want something very precise and very easy way to store related data together. For example, let's say if somebody is maintaining the inventory of a car, inventory of car showroom, ठीक है. Now, इसके अंदर क्या होगा? They will be having, let's say, 100 cars in their showrooms. Now, every car will have a model number, will have a make, like make मतलब कौन सी brand का है, color होगा, speed होगा, मतलब so many things will be there, right? And some cars will be of the same make, मतलब ये categorization भी होगा, जैसे Mercedes का है, E class है, S class है, सारी classes है, Audi की हैं, ये वाली classes है, मतलब ये वाली variants है. So like some categorization also will be there, but what they want, that all the information they can store, and whenever they want to get that information easily, हमको कुछ भी याद है, जैसे okay, Audi की cars देखनी है सारी, so they can retrieve from the database. That was the only motivation behind creation of this object-based programming languages. Okay, so एक तो ये है, suppose speed हो गया, let's say एक और चीज ले लेते हैं, जैसे costing. तो ये सारी information, for example, आपके पास ये, you need to store this 5 things about every car. Now guys, what you will do, for example, if you, let's say, no object-oriented programming was there, So what, and but simple Java was there. Then what they will do? Okay, they will say, okay, int model number, one variable they will take, model number of car number 1. Like this, they name the variables. Then int make, or let's say string I will take. String matlab kuch bhi alphabets we can store here. There will be a detailed class on string, so don't worry about it. And string color, color of car 1, and int speed of car 1, int cost of car 1, right? This will be there. Now, if this is there, then like this, you will have to create 100 variables for everything. So basically it will be 500 variables. And now tell me guys, will array be, array is taken in your class guys? Array? Acha, this weekend, right? We have not taken array. Okay, don't worry. Arrays everyone knows. JavaScript पे तो पढ़ा होगा, right? Okay, okay. तो ठीक है, हाँ, तो बेटा अरेज, जब जावा में अरेज की बात करते हैं ना, तो क्या होता है, उसमें सिर्फ सेम टाइप का डेटा स्टोर कर सकते हैं. जेएस में तो एडवांटेज है कि अलग अलग टाइप्स का डेटा भी स्टोर कर सकते हो, राइट? सो व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज, इन जावास्क्रिप्ट you guys must have studied that in arrays same type of data need not be there. Different string also you can store, number also you can store, but in Java what will happen, but only same type of data you will have to store. For example, if you want to store model number and make, right? So first one array will be for like list will be for model numbers only of int type, and separate list will be there of string type for makes. Now what happens, we will have to still maintain 5 arrays. So but that people who are using this inventory software Shokarum, they told no, we want to make our life easy. That of one car, full information we want to write here. Then second car, full information we want to write. Third car, fourth car, like just like a file system. That is, if you're opening the file of car number 1, everything is there. Second car, full thing is there in that folder. That is what they wanted. Now, by seeing this, whatever developers are there, they told, okay, we will create objects of car. Objects. They told, okay, what do you mean by object? They told, okay, let us group the variables. That is, here also there will be some variable, int for model number, one string variable for make, one string variable for color, one int variable for speed, one int variable for cost. And this same variables will be in the second object also. So what they were doing, all the information of one car, they were storing in this variable, and this together they were stored. Like if you ask the Java compiler to give you memory space for car type object, it will give you, it will check, okay, what all things are required. Dheeraj is asking, what is int memory? Dheeraj, can you type in more? But int will be requiring 4 bytes. 4 bytes. Int is integer. Integer, beta. In this you can store any number. Any number you can store, number value. Yes, now Vishal, you have hit the right point. So we can group different variables together. So now guys, you can think of the logic like let, Dheeraj beta, in JavaScript only let, var, const are there. In Java similarly you have int, string, double, float, like these data types. We have covered data types yesterday, right? Where I must have told you about the space occupied by each of the variables. Okay, that is covered, right? Perfect. Now guys, so like what I was telling, how that idea of object came about. So the requirement was to store the information about anything together. They don't want to maintain a list of variables. They want to store the data and that to club together. So we said, okay, now every time you are creating the object, that is, so what happened? So our developers thought, okay, let's say we will create the object of car. So they thought, okay, let us think how to implement that. Let's say you want to implement the object of car 1. So developer will write something like int model number, string make, Then you will write, let's say int cost, something else, like I forgot the other two variables. Okay. Now again they will have to create one object of car2. Then again he will have to write int model number, string make. Very initial development effort I am telling, like how it started. Int cost. Now developers told, oh, even though we are able to store this information together, but अभी क्या हो रहा है? Every time they have to tell कि कितने variable चाहिए. They are sick and tired of this. They say, okay, see, we don't want. You create a mold. जैसे ice cubes में क्या है? जैसे one proper analogy will be कि जैसे ice cube एक को जमाओ, हिंदी में कैसे एक्सप्लेन करूं? जैसे एक को जमाना है तो उससे क्या हमने ट्रे बना दिया. ट्रे में क्या है? सेम स्ट्रक्चर है, राइट? तो वो स्ट्रक्चर हमें चाहिए कि एक बार आई टेल यू कि क्रिएट एन ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ क्लास दैट कैन बी यूज्ड टू क्रिएट एनी नंबर ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट्स. उसके लिए we started off using class. So guys, let's say what you want. You want a blueprint of class or creating an object, like a structure, or you can say mold, because this they cannot keep on telling every time, right? Yes, exactly. Now for creating this blueprint in Java or in C++ also, this term came about, class. This keyword will create a class structure. What in the class, what you can do, you can define like this: class car, and in this you can write int model, int cost, like this. Okay. So what will happen every time you want to create an object? What you can do? You can just say cars object you want. So automatically you will get the space to store all these three variables. So this is the theoretical part. Now let us do the same thing on the playground. So till now everyone is understanding beta? Theory part, that approach you understand, like how that object came into picture? Tell me guys. Okay. So this is only halfway the information. Let us go first implement. Then I hope you will be able to relate to the whole picture. One second. Let me share my screen. So where were we here? Let's go to playground area. Let's go to this. Okay. Let me expand this, zoom in a little. थोड़ा सा zoom कम करते हैं. Let me delete all that. So guys, now today I will show you. Let's say I will define one class here. Let's say class car. We are defining our own class now. And here we will say int model number, string make, int cost, string color. Rahul is asking, beta, Java.util. Yes, beta, this you have to use because I'll be using it somewhere in the print or somewhere I'll be using it. So let it be. And it is the most common thing which you can write in your Java program. Import java.io.star and import java.util.star. This will like cover most of the commonly used things in your Java program. Okay. So now guys, what you are doing, see, we have created one blueprint for a car object. Now comes the part where you are actually going to create the object. So here you can write, pointers are not there in Java beta, but reference will be there. I will show you that reference and I will show you that demo also. Pointers are not there in Java. Reference is maintained. Basically, it will be pointing to the memory address. Same thing what we have in C++. Same concept. Concept is same, name is different. So here, when I want to create the object, what I will do, whatever class name is there. So car, let's say I will say object 1, O1. Star means all, yes, Javed. And now to create, you will use a new keyword, reserved keyword, new keyword. And what you can do, new car, like this. Now what you will do, you will write O1 dot. Now guys, few lines I am writing, that meaning I will explain on whiteboard. Let me first once show you like what is happening. Or one time, let us print only what is happening. See guys, can you see the output here? So when we see the output, it is quite interesting. Here they've written car at the rate E6F some X. This is some sequence you might be thinking, but this is actually hexadecimal notation. So let me explain this first. Now guys, what happened? Let me copy this quickly. No, this is not garbage value beta. It is actually the location of the memory. Let me explain on whiteboard what just happened. Let me. See. What happened here? Here, let's say this code was there, entire thing. Here you have created, we haven't given values. We haven't accepted the value. No, nothing there as of now. Step by step, beta, we will go. Here you define one car class. Here you are writing 4 variables. Int model number, string, then int cost, then some string, right? This is basically a car class. This is like a blueprint of what all variables you want. Now to create this, what we have done, here we have taken this line we have written. Now in this line, if you divide further, car 01, new car, 4 things are there. This is the class name. This is the object name. This is a reserved keyword. So you can, I will just write keyword. And this is class name with parenthesis, right? Now, beta, whatever object you want to create, you will be definitely telling, how do I want, let's say I want to create a car object. So you have used the car class. Now, object name is just like variable name. You can name it anything. This part, you can name it anything, just like a variable you choose. Here also, object name also, you can write anything. Then, now comes the part why we have used the new keyword. So what is the significance of this new keyword? So this new keyword gives you memory space. Let's say this is the memory that is given to Java. So new keyword will tell, okay, I have to give memory to what? To car. To car. How many variables are? So when Java will say, okay, car class is there, it will find out where car class is there. It will come here. Now it will say, okay, int variable 4 byte. String beta, it will be basically again an object, but you can say some, let's say some X bytes are there. I will take some variable. And this again int 4 bytes. Some, let's say this is also taking X bytes. So some, let's say this object is taking 100 bytes. Strings we have not studied till now. So string actually beta, you cannot calculate the size in advance. It will be a memory location only. So but for example, I'm telling, let's say this class total when you do this requires 100 bytes. So this new keyword will say, okay, fine, we will create. So it will, new keyword will calculate how many variable bytes are required by the class, and it will give you some 100 bytes to it. I'll use a different color. So 100 bytes are given. Okay. So so in this class code we have two class. Yes, but a second class why we have used, we will tell you right now, step by step beta. Okay. Now here beta, here you get 100 bytes. But remember guys, this address will be starting from somewhere. That memory location will be stored in O1. So O1 will be having the memory address. Memory address of this 100 byte. Okay. Now, this second time when we have used this class name with parenthesis, this is actually called the constructor. What is the meaning of constructor? This helps you construct the object, and whatever variables are there, right? It will put some values into it. Now, since here, this is then nothing is given in the constructor here, it will give in the default values. Default values. So for int, the default value will be 0, string, it will be null. Int, this will be 0, it will be null. So once this statement is executed in all these variables, when this space, whatever is written, it will pull the default values. Now how the constructor works, we will study, and I will give you the variety of workings, guys. But right now, only this much information is okay. In maybe second or third class, we will cover that concept also. Now guys, coming back to the point. Here many people must have noticed that here we have used main class, and again we have written car class. Two classes are there. That is because beta, here you wanted to create a car class blueprint, and this object you are using in your main function. Now, why we have not written this public static void main function? Because I don't need to execute this class. I just needed to create objects to get my memory space. That is the reason. Okay. Constructors work in most, yes, just like JavaScript, it will work, but few changes are there, Javed, not exactly one-to-one. All the ways in which it works in Java, I'll explain. And there are different varieties of a constructor also. The constructor which you see is called default constructor, like unparameterized, no parameters are there here. Okay, now guys, tell me, you will be able to create one simple class and create an object, right? Everyone in the class, that will be done. Okay, now guys, let us put actual values to this class variables. How to do that? Let me show you. Let us do some hands-on here. So here, let's say when I'm creating the first car object, I want to name the model as, let's say, so what I will do, O1, what is the object name basically? Then whatever variable you want to access. So you will write O1 dot model number. So let's say some model number is 1, 2, 3, 4. Some integer number is there. So you can store only integer type values. That is numbers only you can store. Okay. Then after that, what you have to do? Let's say you want to store the make. O1 dot make. Let's say you store Mercedes. And then you have O1 dot cost. So cost, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, let's say O1 dot color you want to store. You will write white. Right? सोनू ये एग्जांपल है बेटा, किसी क्लास का असाइनमेंट नहीं है. वी आर सीइंग हाउ टू डू इट. एक लॉजिक देख रहे हैं, समझ रहे हैं स्टेप बाय स्टेप कैसे हो रहा है. क्वेश्चन के लिए नहीं है ये मोटिवेटेड कंसेप्ट, फुल एंड टू एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए है. Now we will print the same information. Let's say Now, how to print? The way you stored the information, same thing, you can retrieve the information also. See, let me copy this line quickly. Okay, let us see. Let us run this program once. So see guys, whatever information you had put, that has come. Now, let me give you some more example. Let's say just after creating the object and before storing the values, what will be the values here? Remember I told you default values will be there. Let us print and see. So I will, before putting the values before this, then we will print the same things. See, before putting the values, here the values are what? 0, 0, null, null. Why? Because this default constructor on line number 7 would have been called, and it would have put, since we have not given anything, it will put the default value. So for integer variables, it is 0, and for string variables, it is null. And once you have initialized the values, it will put that, and then again when you print, you will be able to retrieve the values and see. And where, at what location they are there? At this address. Can you see guys, 6FF, this random address? So this is the hexadecimal notation of the actual memory address. It is there. So tell me guys, is the end-to-end flow like how to access the variables inside the object, how to print them? That is clear to everyone? Yes, that is the address of object one, Vishal, right? Why is int 0? बेटा initially अगर variable int variable declare किया है और कोई value डाली नहीं है तो default value Java उसको 0 देता है int variables को, इसीलिए. Okay, now guys, after this I want to start the concept of inheritance, but before that we will have a break of 10 minutes. I want everyone to write this program at least once and execute it. I will remove this println statement ताकि थोड़ा सा zoom में सबको दिखे. I want everyone to execute this. Practice. Manjeet is asking, where do we practice from this? बेटा कोई practice नहीं करवाता है ऐसे, जैसे हम लोग step by step कर रहे हैं, ऐसे कोई आपको assignment नहीं मिलेगा. आपको theory मिल जाएगी, but ऐसे hands on demo की practice कहीं से नहीं मिलेगी. And that is why we are doing the service in Newton. ठीक है? हैकर रैंक में है, बट वो ना कंसेप्ट वाइज क्वेश्चन है, ऐसा नहीं है. मंजीत सासी लाइन नंबर 22 से, लाइन नंबर 22 से क्या बेटा, उसमें क्या बेटा क्लास बनाई है जिसके अंदर हमने वेरिएबल्स बताया है कि अगर एक ऑब्जेक्ट बनेगा कार का तो उसमें कौन से वेरिएबल्स होने चाहिए. लाइन नंबर 20 से, हाँ क्लास बनाई है, क्लास कार, एक कार बनाई है जिसके अंदर हमने ऑब्जेक्ट बनाना चाहते हैं जिसका हम, तो उसमें क्या क्या वेरिएबल्स होने चाहिए वो लिखे हैं. और वो कैसे लिखोगे? क्लास वेरिएबल के साथ, कीवर्ड के साथ. Okay, now guys, what we have done, one quick repeat here beta. See, on from line number 20 to 25, we have created one class called car. In this, we want to store 4 information: model number, make, cost, string. Now, once you have created the class, it is used for creating objects. तो मैंने क्या किया है यहाँ पे main function में आके, because remember main function का, main class का main function execute होगा, तो कहाँ पे create करूंगी मैं? यहाँ पे आके, क्योंकि यहीं से run होगा code, right? तो यहाँ पे आके मेरे को एक कार का ऑब्जेक्ट बनाना था. आई वांटेड टू क्रिएट एन ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ द कार, एंड देन आई जस्ट टू शो यू गाइस, आई वांटेड टू प्रिंट कि व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन यू प्रिंट O1. सो O1 इज बेसिकली स्टोरिंग, ऑब्जेक्ट नेम O1 लिया है, कुछ भी नाम ले सकते हो आप लोग, इनफैक्ट ट्राई करना. सो इट विल बी पॉइंटिंग टू द मेमोरी एड्रेस वेयर the variables declared in the class will be actually occupying the space. So when you print, some hexadecimal number will be printed. Now guys, बेटा एडम शेख जो भी नाम है बेटा, सॉरी प्रोनाउंसिएशन करते हैं, कल की क्लास अटेंड करी थी बेटा, डेटा टाइप होता है जावा में इंट। कल की क्लास अटेंड करी थी आपने, हमने पूरा डेटा टाइप्स पे कवर किया है। इंट एक डेटा टाइप होता है जावा में जिसके अंदर नंबर स्टोर कर सकते हैं। तो हाँ ओके, आदम बेटा नहीं अटेंड करिए तो एक बार देख लेना जाके, थोड़ा और आइडिया मिल जाएगा। अभी मैं बता देती हूँ, इंट डेटा टाइप होता है जावा में, ठीक है। और स्ट्रिंग जो होता है जिसके अंदर आप नॉर्मल टेक्स्ट स्टोर कर सकते हो, कोई भी कैरेक्टर हो सकता है, डिजिट भी हो सकता है, सिर्फ इन ब्लॉक्स में आएगा जैसे जावास्क्रिप्ट में है, वो सेम ही है स्ट्रिंग का कॉन्सेप्ट यहाँ पे। जो और डिटेल में स्ट्रिंग हम पढ़ेंगे जावा में, क्योंकि बहुत सारे फंक्शंस होते हैं, उसके लिए पूरा सेशन है 2। अभी इतना समझ लो कि डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू नल होगी और इंट की डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू 0 होगी। ओके, एंड हेयर जब हमने यहाँ पे ऑब्जेक्ट बनाया है तो उसके अंदर वी वांटेड टू स्टोर द वैल्यूज। सो हाउ डू वी स्टोर? सो ऑब्जेक्ट नेम डॉट, बिकॉज हुज वैल्यूज यू आर डूइंग मॉडल नंबर एग्जाम्पल, ठीक है। एंड देन वी हैव प्रिंटेड। लेना जरूरी नहीं है बेटा, दिस इज जस्ट एन एग्जाम्पल टू शो यू हाउ ऑब्जेक्ट इज क्रिएटेड। कुछ जरूरी नहीं है, दिस इज लाइक अकॉर्डिंग टू यू, वॉट एवर यू वॉन्ट टू डू इन दिस यू कैन डू। कार इज अ क्लास प्रतीक, yes, and O1 is the object of this car class. Okay guys, let us take a break of 10 minutes. I want everyone to try and execute this on your playground, and whatever error comes, please type in the chat. We'll go over them now and then itself, but we'll catch up again in 10 minutes. Yes. Shall we get started, guys? Okay. Okay, 1 second, guys. Let me quickly check. 1 second. Let me just scroll through the. धीरज, DSA पूरा Java समझने की जरूरत नहीं है. In fact, that is not the aim also by the structure here. We'll definitely go by the things which are very relevant for you to solve problems in Java. That is a goal here. Saying that does not mean that we'll skip over the concept. The basic OOPs and some advanced concepts of OOPs with respect to Java we will be covering here in this course. Okay. Then what else? Sorry, Dheeraj had asked that question. Okay. Then for people who are asking, beta, you had to execute this code in Playground. How many classes of Java we had till now? Prakash, yesterday only one session was there for Java. This is your second session for November 3rd batch. Only on the weekends you'll be having DSA. And for that you need to understand Java. So hence starting with Java basics. Yes, Dheeraj, you're right. But mostly, you know what happens once you people who are having this thing, right? That if you're learning two languages at one go, that you might get confused. That does not usually happen. Once you get a basic understanding of working with one programming language, learning a new programming language, in fact, becomes much easier. Because many concepts as a developer, you know, you acquire, you start to have that analytical thinking. So it will be a plus, in fact. Playground wala practice karo. Okay, how many people don't know where is playground? I'll show you right now. Azhar, beta, we were having a break of 10 minutes. Okay. Srijul, beta, I don't understand the doubt. Read whom? I don't understand. Done, it's working. Perfect. So it is working. Okay, some people are having doubt. Madhubala's doubt, I will see. Can you copy paste the code here? Then what is? Srijul is having some doubt. Beta, copy paste the error. Where the compile यहाँ पे. Okay, एक चीज और दिखा देते हैं तुमको. एक बार मैं minimize कर दूँ इसको. एक second. See, you can see my browser, right, guys? See, when you are executing the code, the errors will be shown under stdr, that is standard error, or compile output error. So can you see, guys, copy paste the error which you are getting in the chat so that I can see and give. Okay, this class, beta, what we have declared is outside the curly braces of main class. So ये ध्यान से देखना. Yes, you can run Chinta. You can Chinta, but I don't. Sai, you can use run the code Java code on Visual Code also. That is not a problem. But I want you guys to be very familiar with Newton Playground and, you know, this online kind of thing. Line number 6 में strings क्या है? This is a parameter, बेटा. This is a parameter. String array है. Arrays अभी पढ़ा नहीं है, string भी पढ़ा नहीं है, तो इसीलिए बताया नहीं डिटेल में. But parameter है, मंजीत. Okay, Vishal did not get that. Beta, can you copy paste the what do you call that doubt? Okay, that error. Sorry, doubt carry on. Okay, let me quickly scroll down. I'm catching up to the messages, guys, one by one. Hold on. Where is Java Playground? Okay, so people who don't know where is Java Playground, beta, go to your home page, click on Newton icon. And here you will be able to see three things. मेरे लिए ज़्यादा हो सकता है because I have that mentor access or instructor access. But this playground button will be there. If you go to this button, click on this button, and then when you go down, ये markup playground नहीं है बेटा, ये है आपका algorithm playground. You will be doing DSA, so algorithm playground में जाइए और वहां पे जाके open editor करना, ठीक है? और यहाँ पे जाके language Java select करना, फिर आ जाएगा. Let me scroll one way. Compilation error. Yes, बेटा compile output वाला जो टैब है ना यहाँ पे, यहाँ से वो पेस्ट कर दो चैट में. राहुल इज रनिंग बेटा. देन ST ये मैसेज वाले में राहुल जिसका कोई भी आउटपुट नहीं आ रहा, जस्ट देखो इस साइड कुछ आ रहा है क्या किसी भी टैब में. ये टैब्स है. std out का टैब है, std error का टैब है, compile output का टैब है और message का टैब है. ठीक है. So all the people, there are 4 tabs actually. You can click on them and navigate to them. Just see whenever the message is there, one dot kind of thing will come. Okay, compile error. बेटा can you copy paste the compile error? जो यहाँ पे copy paste जो भी आ रहा है ना compilation error, वो यहाँ से copy paste करके chat पे paste कर दो, copy करके. Give your code here, Rahul. Okay. One by one, Java, Vishal has copy pasted. बेटा code मत paste करो, errors paste कर दो. हाँ, अब किसी ने error paste किया, first error I've seen, जुबेर ने किया है. Expected here, expected. 2 errors. हाँ, for Zubair, beta match your parentheses. Parentheses are not closed for you correctly. This you should do properly. Amol, string. For Amol, beta यहाँ पे semicolon नहीं है. आपने semicolon डाला है इसके बाद. Semicolon नहीं है. 6 error. Rahul, beta copy paste the errors. Compile error I'm getting. Beta you go to compile output tab and copy paste the error. Jeremiah has copied. कार C1 कंस्ट्रक्टर इन. हाँ बेटा इसमें जो आपने C1 लिखा है यहाँ पे जेरेमिया प्लीज लिसन बेटा. कार C1 न्यू कार इक्वल्स टू अंदर C1 लिख दिया है दोबारा. इसके अंदर कुछ नहीं डालना है. सी यहाँ पे ये एम्प्टी है. ओके. कुड नॉट फाइंड और लोड मेन क्लास नॉट. विशाल बेटा आपने ये मेन क्लास ठीक से नहीं लिखी है. इसको दोबारा से लिखो. कीवर्ड को चेक करो सही है कि नहीं. हाँ राहुल कैन यू बेटा मेक श्योर दैट ऊपर कुछ भी नहीं लिखा है यहाँ पे ऐसे. पीपल यू कैन इग्नोर दिस कमेंट्स. तो इग्नोर कर दो टोटली. ये सब लाइन्स को इग्नोर कर दो. ये रन कर दो ऐसे. ये होना चाहिए टॉप चैप्टर. सो मेनी मैसेजेस आर देयर. ट्राइंग टू कवर एज मेनी डाउट्स. किसी ने फिर कॉपी किया है. विद्यासागर बेटा आपके ऊपर डेफ कैलकुलेटर कुछ लिखा है उसको हटा दो. ये कॉपी पेस्ट में पूरा डिलीट नहीं किया है. पूरा क्लियर करके फिर लिखो. ओके. नो एरर नो आउटपुट. मोहम्मद ऐसा हो नहीं सकता बेटा. देखो आपके कहीं ना कहीं मैसेज होगा. पीपल हु आर गेटिंग दैट स्क्रिप्ट डॉट py एरर. बेटा जावा लैंग्वेज है. आपने पाइथन सेलेक्ट कर रखी है विद्यासागर. बेटा जावा करो इस लैंग्वेज को. कैन यू सी माई कर्सर है. रीसेट बटन के साइड में जावा है. ड्रॉप डाउन है यहाँ पे. जावा सेलेक्ट करो. अच्छा मधुबाला ने लिखा है. हाँ बेटा स्ट्रिंग. मधुबाला बेटा आपने स्ट्रिंग का एस स्मॉल है. याद है जावा केस सेंसिटिव लैंग्वेज है. तो स्ट्रिंग जो है वो कीवर्ड है तो उसका एस कैपिटल होना चाहिए. यहाँ पे जब लिखा होगा ना कार में आपने क्लास में डिक्लेयर किया होगा वेरिएबल तो ये स्ट्रिंग में एस कैपिटल है. ये प्रॉब्लम है. राहुल बेटा कॉपी पेस्ट द एरर. एरर देख के बताएंगे. ओके आई थिंक दीज एरर्स आर इनफ टू बी सॉर्टेड. आई थिंक मोस्टली यही होंगे. मैं आई विल कॉपी पेस्ट माय कोड टू यू गाइस. यू कैन डू ऑनलाइन में जाके टेक्स्ट करना मतलब डिफ करना. ऑनलाइन गूगल पे जाके क्लिक करना टेक्स्ट डिफ. ये कॉपी पेस्ट कर दिया कोड. अपना कोड लेना. इस कोड को लेना डिफ करना तो दिख जाएगा कि कौन सी लाइन पे डिफरेंस है तुम्हारे कोड से. ठीक है चलो लेट्स स्टार्ट. लैंग्वेज जावा रखो मधुबाला. हाँ बेटा कोड दे दिया है मैंने चैट पे. उसको डिफ करके देख लेना तुम अपने उस पे या फिर उसको एग्जीक्यूट करके देख लो जो मैंने कोड दिया है. डिफ किस में आता है मैं दिखाती हूँ बेटा. तुम लोग को अभी शायद ये डिफ यूज करना नहीं आता होगा. देखो मैं दिखाती हूँ तुम्हें. ये भी एक स्किल है जो आना चाहिए हर डेवलपर को. हमने स्क्रीन शेयर करती हूँ पहले तो. गूगल पे जाना. लिखना लिखना टेक्स्ट डिफ और ये डिफ चेकर आ जाएगा. ठीक है अब इस पे जाना. अब कोई भी अपना कोड कॉपी पेस्ट करके दे दो जिसको एरर आ रहा है. Anybody copy paste the code which is they're having error. I will show you how to sort that out using diff checker. यहाँ पे करना और अपना कोड डालना. ठीक है किसी ने दिया है? सिद्दीक ने दिया है। मैं इनका कॉपी कर लेती हूँ एक बार क्विकली। ये स्किल्स होने चाहिए बेटा, 10 साल एक्सपीरियंस हो जाए डेवलपर का या कितने भी हो जाए, ये सारी चीजें आप लोगों को पता होनी चाहिए। ठीक है, धीरे धीरे करके आ जाती हैं अपने आप, अभी सीख लोगे तो जल्दी हो जाएगा। ठीक है, ये देखो, ये क्या है डिफ, थोड़ा स्पेस का डिफरेंस है। हाँ ठीक है, और क्या है, हाँ बेटा मेन की स्पेलिंग गलत है बेटा सिद्दीक, आपकी मेन की स्पेलिंग गलत है, MIAN लिखा हुआ है। बाकी सब तो, और एक कर्ली ब्रेसेस बंद नहीं किया है मेन फंक्शन का। ठीक है, बाकी सब जो बच्चे कर रहे हैं बेटा अपने आप डिफ करके देखना, मैंने अपना वाला कोड आपको चैट पे भेज दिया है। इज इट ओके गाइस? तो ये ऐसे कर लेना, तो एग्जैक्टली दिख जाएगा कि कहाँ गलती है। यस, JS वाला डिफ भी यूज कर सकते हो, वो मुझे पता नहीं है ठीक से, जावास्क्रिप्ट में इतना यूज करती नहीं हूँ तो मुझे पता नहीं है ज्यादा बेटा। कॉलेज में यूज करी थी, 1-2 साल स्टार्टिंग में यूज करी थी, उसके बाद नहीं यूज करी थी। कंसेप्ट पता है, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में यूज नहीं करती हूँ रोज। ओके ओके, आ गया ना आउटपुट? ठीक है चलो, गुड, वेरी गुड। ओके नाउ गाइस, अभी तक क्या, like whatever we have done till now is basic class creation. Once we have created an object, stored something, and then we have printed. So basically क्या है, what we have done, we were able to create an object, store the object, and then retrieve also. Retrieve मतलब print also. So what we have done, we have created the object. Then we have stored the information, and then we printed, right? तो retrieve भी कर लिया. Now how much efficiently you are able to do this, that much will be better. Now guys, when you think about the word data structures, right? Data structures, they are trying to optimize this thing only: creation, storage, and retrieval. These three things only they are trying to do very quickly. Now in this batch we have not done time complexity so far, right? Time complexity, this is a very important concept which we will be discussing in detail, and this helps you measure कि how efficiently these things are done. Efficiently matlab how much time it takes. Like for example, once you declare one object, you write some value and you want to search some value, rather retrieve some value. How quickly and efficiently you are able to do so, that can be defined by time complexity. And how space is managed, that is called space complexity. So these all things, like motivation behind developing this, creating objects, storing, retrieving, what is the motive? Now why is Google so trending? Why do we all depend upon Google? Because whatever you want to search in this world, you type on the search engine, they are able to first of all store all that information and then retrieve all that information and give it to you in milliseconds, right? That is, so Google is itself, it's a proper structure where a lot of data has been stored, and all the searching is very, very quick. This is the full big picture. Now how we will be starting this in Java, you will be coming across so many data structures. Like for example, arrays we will be studying. In arrays also, two types will be there: 1D array, 2D array, right? 2D array is nothing but matrix kind of thing. Then we will be studying linked list. Then we will be studying what you call, let's say I tell you, maps, stack, queue. Then in queue also you can say there is one more variety that is called array day queue, specific to Java. But in C++ also these things are there. Some name difference might be there. Then what we call circular queue is there. So many varieties. So this is like, this course will be designed to first make you understand all these things first and make you comfortable in using all of them. And then you will be solving so many problems using this. In fact, when you think about problems where tree is there, trees questions, graph question, but for that, what you need to know, You need to know all this data structure, plus you need to know how to create objects and retrieve that. So when you combine all that information, graph and tree questions come into picture. This is how, you know, things, this is the whole end-to-end picture. Yes, Pratik, this exactly what I have explained, right? Arrays, linked list, this itself will be forming the major chunk of your DSA curriculum. And we'll be solving all the popular interview questions assigned to them. And you'll be having contest on, and trust me, all the product-based companies, interviews which you will be giving, if you know these data structures and you have basic analysis skills, like जैसे कहते हैं ना aptitude जिसको कहते हैं, आप solve कर पाओगे. यही इतना है. Practice, obviously, even if you are very intelligent and you're not doing practice, then there will be no point to this. Practice तो daily ही करनी है. Okay, now guys, today what I want to show you, before getting started with the data structures, some example of inheritance I wanted to show you, right? Inheritance, which is a very popular OOP concept. Now, how did it came into picture? Like, what is the relevance of it? Why it is there? Dynamic, okay, Pratik is asking, dynamic programming करना है बेटा, आएगा, but वो बहुत end में आता है, जब सारे डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स हो चुके होते हैं और सारी अदर चीजें हो चुकी होती हैं. और डीपी नहीं भी करोगे अभी तो भी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, क्योंकि जो सेम प्रॉब्लम्स डीपी से करते हो वो रिकर्शन से हो सकते हैं. डीपी बहुत एंड में आता है, तो स्टार्टिंग में तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं आएगा, एटलीस्ट बिल्कुल 3-4 वीक्स बाद आएगा, अभी नहीं आएगा. और इट इज वेरी इजी. DP is not something very hard. The why people think DP is hard, because they are not comfortable with the other concepts which we have gone through. जो पूरा DSA का concepts है, data structures होंगे, वो ही comfortable नहीं होते, fundamentals clear नहीं होते. फिर DP का अपना logic आ जाता है. DP क्या है, सारी चीजों को use करेगा जो best practices है. Recursion भी easy है विशाल, step by step देखेंगे, सब easy लगेगा. Understanding fundamentals strong रखने हैं बस. Okay. Inheritance डिस्कस कर रहे थे हम लोग, ठीक है. सो लाइक as the, you know, tell me guys, what do you understand by inheritance, just the English meaning, कि English का meaning क्या है, like what do you mean by inheritance, or what do you mean by inherit? This means that you get access to certain things just because you are the children of somebody, or just let's say your parents have some property and automatically you will become the inherited heir, like you will get those property, so you will acquire those things. Paternal, maternal, किसी भी side से property हो सकती है, तुमको मिल जाएगी. That is the most common thing which we call inherit. DNA transfer हो गया. तो ये सारे concepts तो already nature में है, right? This only computer developers have mimicked in Java. यही feature बना दिया Java में. Now remember guys, the only real things we are able to convert into code is object. So object कैसे बनता है, class से, तो class में ही inheritance लगा दी. What do you mean by class में inheritance लगा दी, मतलब कैसे लगाई first of all? So for inheritance बेटा, there is a keyword called extend. अब use कैसे होता है, scenario क्या है, मतलब कहाँ पे use करोगे, क्यों use करोगे, let us go over that one by one. Like what are scenarios where inheritance comes into picture? Let's say you are remember we worked upon inventory of cars, मतलब cars का database बनाया आपने, तो क्या किया हमने, कार का class बनाया हमने. One second, let me write clearly. Then we will have, let's say, int cost, string color, same information what we have seen so far. Now let's say this car showroom comes under a big company which is having vehicles, that is they are having cars also, they are having trucks also, and they are having two-wheelers also, ठीक है. Now अभी क्या है, For example, let's say now this will be a small database of vehicles showroom. एग्जाम्पल बता रहे हैं, कुछ एकदम लिटरली लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, एग्जाम्पल है, ठीक है। अब व्हीकल्स की इन्वेंट्री बना रहे हैं, तो उसके अंदर एक कार का डेटाबेस होगा और एक ट्रक्स का डेटाबेस होगा। तो सपोज ट्रक्स की भी हमने एक क्लास बना दी कि ट्रक्स के भी ऑब्जेक्ट बना सकते हैं। Now in this also we can have int, same variable name you can use because this is a different class altogether, that's okay. And I will use two variable names, string make, same things डाल देते हैं इधर, and एक variables और डाल देते हैं दोनों जगह, it's a string, या फिर कलर को हटा के टाइप कर देते हैं बिकॉज इसी इतने ही एरिया में मैं दिखाना चाहती हूँ, ठीक है। ओके, you can add any number of variables, guys, this is just for demo, so you can add, free to experiment around. So this is car, class car, and this is class truck. Now both of them are type of vehicles, right? Both of them are type of vehicle. So can I say that this will be like every car is a vehicle, every truck is a vehicle, but every vehicle will not be a car and every vehicle will not be a truck? Can I say this? Tell me, guys. So in terms of this object creation and in this oops type of programming, right, can I say that this will be the parent class or parent category in normal words, and these are the two child classes? Okay, now sometimes, guys, this will be called the subclass also. Instead of child class, you can call it subclass also. Now how do we this relation we have drawn by pencil, but actually how to make implement the code for that? So for that we have something called extends keyword. Extends keyword. Let us take an example on the playground and see how it is working. Let's go. Here, let me declare one class vehicle. Let's say I say string category and int serial number. That's it, two things. Now, if I want to tell Java that my class car would be the subclass of vehicle class, then you can write class car extends vehicle. Whatever class you want to make the parent class. And above thing, you will not change anything. Similarly, what you are creating the object of class car, like that only you can keep. And what I will do, I will just execute the same thing again and let us see the output, whether it is changing or not. So see, guys, no change is there, right? But one thing extra I will show you. I will print two more variables which are not there in class car. That is serial number O1 dot serial number and we'll print category. second, there is some problem with the cursor. And I also want to show you that in any order you can print. It is not that same order is required in which you have declared, nothing. The X is also like this. Something like prototypes, Ravi, you are right. Space in between matters. Yes, beta, कहाँ पे space? यहाँ पे space कहाँ पे शिवम? Space कहाँ पे matter नहीं करती? So see guys, here two variables which are like category and serial number, they are not there in the class car, right? See, let me expand this. But we are able to access them using the object of O1. O1 object is of what type? Car type, right? But in car class, is there any variable name category and serial number? No. But what is the difference between model number and model number? Where beta? Acha, space. In variable names, you cannot have space. In variable names, you cannot have space. That is why they have written together. And this is called camel casing. Let's say you want to name one variable which is made of two words. So first variable letter will be small. And inside that, whatever second word you are having, that's a number here. So that we can make n. So this is like a camel hump, right? See, it will be like this. And this is a common programming convention which you can use in Java. In Python, if you see, that will be like snake casing. What do you mean by snake casing? In Python, you will write the code like this, underscore. In Java, not underscores you should not use. Normally, you will see many blogs where they have used underscore in Java variables. That is not the correct programming convention. You should use camel casing. Variable name should be together without space. First letter should be small, and any other word, make the letter capital. You got it right? What is the meaning of camel casing, guys? Okay, now coming back to our concept. Our object O1 was of type car, but still it is able to access the variables from the different class. So let us go and see on whiteboard how it is happening. हंगेरियन नेमिंग कन्वेंशन बेटा मेरे को पता नहीं है, मैंने नाम सुना है, मीनिंग मेरे को नहीं पता है, तो गूगल कर लेना, बहुत सारे कन्वेंशंस है, दो पॉपुलर कन्वेंशंस है, स्नेक और कैमल. Hungarian I have not heard, and a lot of things will be coming, but you should remember the one which is widely used. कोई नहीं पूछता ये क्वेश्चन, और कॉमन प्रैक्टिसेस पता होनी चाहिए बस. Let me adjust the code. स्नेक कहते हैं, हाँ पास्कल इज अगेन विच इज यूज कैपिटल वाला, उसको पास्कल कहते हैं. जेएस के लिए भी कैमल केसिंग है. ओके, जावा के लिए तो कैमल केस है ही, जेएस के लिए आई डोंट नो. ओके देन, हाँ somebody have asked a doubt. Rahul is asking if we write model number then it is wrong. No, it is not wrong. See, what I'm telling is, if you write like this, this is the common used practice, that a good practice. If you write the variable name like this also, right, nobody is going to stop you. No problem. This is like common practices I'm telling. Tarun, yes, for function names also and variable names also. Even for object names also. Okay, camel case for JavaScript also. Okay, great. Now guys, here coming back. See beta, here what happened? This is the point I want you to focus on. This car extends vehicle. Now what would have happened here? When you declared this line, car object new one. Let us understand the working of this line. How it is different from the previous one when there was no extends keyword usage. Now again, as soon as you write this car class object, you have to create new keyword. So it will calculate how much space this object will be requiring. So it will go and find out where is the car class. It will come here and it will say, okay, 4 variables are required. But Java will say, wait, it is extending to vehicles class. So it will say, okay, for these 2 variables also, we should have accommodation here. Whenever you are creating object of class car. Why? Because it is going to inherit those things. For example, let's say you buy some property. You buy a piece of land, you buy a house, you bought some flat, then again you buy some more property. That is yours. Plus, you will inherit all the property which your parents are having. So this is like something like this. Here, when you are allocating memory, not only, let's say this is taking 100 bytes and this is taking 25 bytes. Not only will the Java give you 100 bytes, but it will add both. Why? Because extend keyword is used. So to say, okay, 125 bytes I will give so that you can access anything, any variable here. This is the actual working. You're getting it, guys? Okay, perfect. It basically means merge both. Merge नहीं है तरुण, नहीं तो vehicle भी access कर सकता. अगर आप vehicle class का object बनाओगे तो आप car class के objects को access नहीं कर सकते. You're getting it? It is like only one way. Only the child classes can access the data from the parent class. This is exactly what I want to show you now. We will create one object of vehicle class and then do the same thing. राहुल बेटा, what part did you not understand? राहुल बेटा वो सम पिंग करो थोड़ा, फिर अनम्यूट करके थोड़ा कॉन्वर्स करेंगे. श्वेता, not vice versa. Yes बेटा, you are right. Yes, I'll repeat this once more. Okay, see guys, once more let us repeat. Let me remove all these markings. Once more before going to the run. Let us repeat concepts one more. See, here what happens when you write this line, car C1 equals to new car. Here what has happened? When we are declaring this object, Java will come and find out how many variables are there in class car. So it says, okay, here is the class car code. It says, okay, 4 variables are there. So for these 4 variables, you have to give the space. But one more thing is written here, extends vehicle. So what do you mean by that? So whatever variables are there here in the class car 4 plus the variables in the vehicle class. What are the variables here? Serial number, string category. So now what happens? Let's say this takes 25 bytes. This takes 100 bytes. So total 125 bytes will be there for any object of class car. So whenever you acquire this space, here some 125 bytes will be given to you. Right? Now, why? So that means whatever object you have created here, let's say object O1C1, whatever. So you can access dot model number, all the things which are written here, plus you can also access the details of serial number and O1 dot category. Okay, are we using, there is one doubt, are we using extends words for calling another class? We are not calling beta. This is telling that It is inheriting. Or class car is becoming a child class of vehicle. Okay, tell me guys, this flow is clear? How it is like parent? Why we are using class? Because beta, we have to put some values, and without using constructor, Vishal, class object cannot be created in Java. Because whenever you think about getting a memory space, some values have to be given to variable. If you, and even though you are want to give default values, for that the constructor is required without any parameters. Then Shweta is asking, let's say in second time I want to create C2, so it will take automatically 125. Yes, definitely. One time you do, every time it will do automatically. Means adding in, you are right. Now guys, beta, this is a one-way relationship. What I mean to say is, let's say this is vehicle class and this is car class. If this is extending to it, that means this is parent, this is child. Okay. So it means that child class can access all the values from the parent class, but parent cannot access the properties from the child class. That is true. If you have brought some property, your parents will not be using it here in this case. Only you will be the rightful inheritor of the parent's property. Getting it? To show that only, I want to show you one code here. Let us go to, let's say, till now what we have done, beta? We have created a class car object. Now I will create a vehicle object. Vice versa is not possible, Shweta. Vice versa is not possible, beta. Okay, now we will say V1 dot serial number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. V1 dot category. Yes, okay. I think I forgot to mention this thing, but a constructor name and the class name should be same because it helps you construct the object of that thing. So basically constructor is nothing but class name plus that function parenthesis. Okay. Now guys, I will print this information. Surprise beta constructor is something which helps you you know न्यू कीवर्ड से आपको मेमोरी स्पेस मिल जाएगी. कंस्ट्रक्टर से जो भी वेरिएबल्स है उस क्लास के अंदर उनके अंदर डिफॉल्ट वैल्यूज डाल देते हैं. ये काम है कंस्ट्रक्टर का. अभी ये काम है और डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे अभी. ठीक है, अभी बेसिक काम ये समझ सकते हो. ठीक है, this we can anyway access through vehicle object. Now we will do something different. Let us first execute this. इतना प्रोग्राम एग्जीक्यूट करते हैं, इस देखते हैं. So see guys, what we are saying, car object was created, this memory address we have printed. Okay, fine. Now what else? Here we had printed. Now all the information printed. Now here when we created this vehicle object, the serial number and the category is printed. But to test whether the vehicle, the parent class, can it access the details from the child class? Let us see. Let's say I want to get the model number. Again, So what I will do, v1 dot model number. Let's see. Let us execute. Now here, if you see, now here, beta, you see that v1 dot model number is what they are telling, symbol model number, location variable v1, type vehicle. It is not there. Java saying cannot find symbol. Why? Because when this object was created, follow my cursor guys, at line number 18, when we created v1 object for vehicle class, right? Vehicle type object, it came, how it will happen, it will come to this class definition. It will say, okay, class vehicle is there and no extend keyword is used. So vehicle class does not even know that it is having some child class. No extend keyword is there. So what we will do, it will give you space for two things, int serial number and string category. So you cannot access the variables of another class. So this is giving the error. That is the reason. So child class will not be, parent class will not have access to the child class variable, but child class can access the data from parent class. Ravi Kumar, yes, beta, you can do that, but that cyclic dependency will be there. So you should be mindful that cyclic inheritance is not there. But for just example, let's see. How we denote in Java, that is parent class. Parent class denote नहीं करते हैं राहुल, जो भी बेटा extend के बाद लिखा होता है वो उस class का parent बन जाता है. Yes, and see guys, what in her cyclic inheritance, that is car vehicle को कर रहा है, vehicle car को कर रहा है. This is not allowed in Java. Cyclic inheritance is not allowed. So can we make parent? Okay, either way we can. Yes, yes, you're right. Remove extend. So remove कर देते हैं तो यहाँ पे सही हो जाएगा. Okay. Okay. So this is the meaning of inheritance. श्वेता, प्रीवियस एग्जांपल में बेटा कार क्लास का ऑब्जेक्ट बनाया था, तो उसमें कार के वेरिएबल्स को तो स्पेस मिलेगी ही, प्लस व्हीकल के भी मिलेगी, क्योंकि उसका पेरेंट क्लास है व्हीकल. इसीलिए जैसे हमने एग्जांपल लिया था कि कार के वेरिएबल्स को 100 बाइट चाहिए, व्हीकल के ऑब्जेक्ट को 25 चाहिए, तो टोटल मिला के 125 स्पेस मिलेगी, ऐसे था. Now guys, for the last 5 minutes, I want information from you, your guys. Are you understanding in this session? Now tell me, any feedback is there? Tell me. सब कुछ समझ में आ रहा है? Language for people who understand Hindi, don't understand Hindi, language is okay? Okay, perfect. Then assignments, जो 22 questions है, I don't think you will be able to solve all of them, but I do want you guys to read through them at least. ये एक्सपेक्टेशन नहीं है कि सारा सॉल्व कर लो. एक्सपेक्टेशन ये है कि ट्राई कर लो, समझ लो, और फिर वो कंसेप्ट जब हम पढ़ाएं, जब जो भी इंस्ट्रक्टर पढ़ाए आपको उसके साथ सॉल्व कर लो. ठीक है, ये एम है. और असाइनमेंट्स का नंबर देख के डरने की जरूरत नहीं है बेटा, असाइनमेंट्स आते रहेंगे. दिस इज मेंट फॉर योर प्रैक्टिस. ऐसा नहीं है कि टास्क समझ के टेंशन में आ जाओ, धीरे धीरे होगा. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि एकदम से झट से आ जाएगा. नथिंग विल, एनीथिंग व्हिच कम्स वेरी क्विकली डज नॉट स्टे फॉर लॉन्ग. धीरे 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 करके एप्टीट्यूड भी डेवलप होगा और अंडरस्टैंडिंग भी बेटर होगी. So okay, this much was what I had planned for today. If anybody is having any doubts, any random topics guys, you can ask me right now. I'll try to answer them. Oh, Python based है, we learn Python. Python से नहीं होगा सॉल्व बेटा, वो हम जावा से भी कर पाएंगे. तो हमें जो क्वेश्चंस Python में, वो मेरे को ना तुम्हारे बोर्ड का एक्सेस नहीं मिला है. आयशा को मैंने बोला था, बट आई थिंक उन्होंने मेरे को रिप्लाई किया है, बट आई वाज नॉट एबल टू चेक आफ्टर 6 PM इन द इवनिंग. 1 सेकंड, लेट मी चेक कर लेती हूँ एक बार. हाँ, मिल गया एक्सेस. एक बार असाइनमेंट्स देख लेते हैं, मेरे को एक्सेस है. कहाँ पे है आप लोग के असाइनमेंट्स? हाँ देखो, ये रहे असाइनमेंट्स. हाँ, सिंपल क्वेश्चंस है. एक बार ट्राई करने का. कर पाओ तो ठीक है, नहीं करोगे तो मैं क्लास में करवाऊंगी जितना हो सकेगा. Pratik, I'll be taking Java DSA for your batch on weekends. So ये communication है मेरे पास. तो अभी तो weekdays में I'm taking something else. So weekends पे होगी आपकी classes, तो I'll be taking. अच्छा, फ्यू कुछ और डाउट्स हैं, लेट मी स्क्रॉल वन बाय वन। एडवांस जावा भी मैं ही लूंगी बेटा। जावा रिलेटेड एनीथिंग आई विल बी टेकिंग, डीएसए रिलेटेड एनीथिंग आई विल बी टेकिंग। जावा स्क्रिप्ट नहीं लूंगी मैं, डीएसए लूंगी पूरा मैं आपका। स्वैप वाला क्वेश्चन देख लो एक बार बेटा, मैं करवा दूंगी, एक साथ करवा दूंगी। गिटहब कोड बेटा मैं शेयर करती नहीं हूँ, क्लास में ही करवाऊंगी, बट अगर हाँ कुछ ऐसी इन्फॉर्मेशन होती है जो सैंपल कोड किया है तो गिटहब पे अपलोड कर देती हूँ, वो मैं शेयर कर दूंगी। अभी सेटअप नहीं किया रेपो आपके बैच के लिए। यस श्वेता बेटा, जितनी बार ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करोगे फ्रेश मेमोरी स्पेस मिलेगी, क्योंकि न्यू कीवर्ड यूज कर रहे हो ना। ऑब्जेक्ट 1 और ऑब्जेक्ट 2 सेम नहीं हो सकते, सेपरेट चीजें हैं वो। दो कार्स के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन स्टोर कर रहे हो तो दो अलग अलग कार्स है, तो हर बार अलग अलग मेमोरी लोकेशन मिलेगी। ठीक है, असाइनमेंट क्वेश्चंस ट्राई कर लो, पूरे सॉल्व करेंगे धीरे धीरे। अभी तक तो वीकेंड्स के लिए ही बोला है रवि। असाइनमेंट्स ह्यूज हो या स्मॉल हो, व्हाई डू यू गेट वरीड, धीरे धीरे हो जाएंगे सॉल्व। एकदम एकदम से किसी का एक्सपेक्टेशन नहीं है सॉल्व करने का। देयर बी इनफ टाइम फॉर यू। Yes, we are done for the day, Shweta. Topic wise, I'm not going to take any new topic now. Can you please share the whole syllabus for DSA? तुम लोग का Slack group होगा ना, उस पे मैं I'll ask somebody to share. Yes, guys. Okay, let's end the class. I think I'm done. Thanks, guys. Next session में we'll start with some data structure, mostly 1D array. उसके बाद sorting पढ़ेंगे, searching पढ़ेंगे, ये sequence रहेगा. Oops के दो concept है, polymorphism और abstraction. वो हो जाएगा next class में. ये है बेसिक कंसेप्ट बेटा, एडवांस हम लोग डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स पढ़ने की बात करेंगे। रीजन समझ में आ गया होगा, डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स नहीं आएंगे तो एडवांस कंसेप्ट समझ में नहीं आएगा, ये रीजन है। ठीक है गाइस, ओके, लेट्स हैव अ गुड नाइट, बाय गाइस। या प्लीज राहुल, प्लीज टाइप इन बेटा, लिंक्डइन पे मैसेज कर देना, तब भी आंसर कर दूंगी। थोड़ा डिले होता है बट आंसर मैं जरूर कर दूंगी। थैंक यू गाइस।